Hi everyone, it's Liam here from Rating the Races. So let's have a look at the chasers who have changed in the handicap after their runs at the weekend. The first one we want to talk about is Neon Moon, who was a bit disappointing. But if you actually, as I've said in the previous video, if you go back and watch that race up until about 2 mile 5, Neon Moon is actually travelling really well. And I think the jockeys actually tried, I think it was Brendan Powell in the end, tried to get Neon Moon there quietly without asking too much of an effort, because I think they were conscious that the horse might not stay the trip, and I don't think he has stayed the trip. But if you dropped him back in trip, I think he could certainly go well off his handicap mark. He's dropped to 1-2-4. I mean, his run behind Captain Nor at Ascot was a very good effort. Also, maybe going back right-handed could bring out more improvement or get him back to his best. And that's kind of what I'd like to see them do next time. There's this 3 mile handicap at Kempton, so it's right-handed. It's an easy 3 mile. It's for horses rated 0 to 135 at the beginning of next month. Neon Moon is 1-2-4, so he'll be, roughly off 11 stone. And I think he would run a really big race here. Yeah, it's a drop in class to what the last couple of runs, although not 2 runs ago in that novice handicap. And hopefully that's where they can go with David Pipe. That's where I hope David Pipe runs Neon Moon, and hopefully Jack Tudor can jump on. And I think he'll give him a good ride, and he'll go close in that 3 mile handicap at Kempton. The second horse that I want to talk about is Mars Harper, who's been dropped £2 to 131 in Ireland. It was a really disappointing effort at Fairyhouse, no denying that. One thing I would say is I think it was kind of expected, because he was 9-4 in the morning. He went off 6-1. That's a massive drift, considering just 2 runs before he'd run a really good race for second at Leopardstown. There was nothing wrong with that race at Leopardstown. I hope they give Mars Harper another go. And I would go to Punchestown for this 2.5 mile handicap, and put a pro jockey back on board. If Gordon can pick a pro jockey out of his ranks to go on Mars Harper, or even a good claimer, I think Mars Harper would run a really big race there. I mean, the form at Punchestown isn't bad. Finished second back in November at Punchestown. Has also got a 5th and a 3rd, I believe. Yeah, and a 3rd. They weren't bad efforts, and I think he's so well handicapped now, Mars Harper, that you can put a decent jockey on, and I think you'd get a good run from Mars Harper at Punchestown. It's in a couple of weeks, so it does give Mars Harper enough time to get over that very poor effort at Fairyhouse. And the final horse is the Goffer. He dropped £1 to 146. He didn't stay the Irish Grand National trip. Maybe he didn't stay the Ultima trip over 3 mile as well. Where do you run him? I think it's obvious, isn't it? You go to the Galway Plate. 2 mile 6. It'll be better going. It'll be easy to get. And yeah, I'd be really confident of a really big run from the Goffer if they decide to go for the Galway Plate in July. So there's 3 there, 2 actually in Ireland. Neon Moon to go to Kempton, Mars Harper to go to Punchestown, and the Goffer to go to the Galway Plate at Galway.